Hello and welcome to another Tri-tutors video. In today's video, what I thought we could do is go through all of the IEB scene poems and just briefly talk about their differing themes and messages, tones, structure, and some of the poetic devices that you need to look out for in these poems. So it's going to be a short video just running through all these different ideas. I definitely would suggest that you write these words down that I'm going through because these words are really helpful, even if you're not really explaining the tone. Maybe the question's not even about the tone in the poem. These words can help you explain yourself and what you mean with regard to that particular poem. So our first poem that we'll look at is Go Lovely Rose. So the theme and message of this poem is Carpe Diem, to seize the day, obsession, infatuation, time and mortality, and how beauty should be celebrated. The tone of this poem is brazen, blunt, assertive, confident. In the last stanza, it's slightly threatening when he tells the rose to die, frustrated, persuasive. The structure, we have a regular rhythm, the rhyme scheme of A, B, A, B, B in each stanza. We have long lines which rhyme with each other and short lines which rhyme with each other. It's very rigid structure and it's a lyric poem. The poetic devices that we can see are apostrophe, personification, metaphor, and symbolism. There are more, those are the main ones. In this summary, literally there's a lot more to say about each of these poems, but I'm trying to keep it short and just tell you the sort of main things that you can go look for in your notes when you are revising. The discardment, the theme and message, inequality, disparity between classes and races. The tone is reflective, joyous, cynical, and ironic. The structure is free verse. The first few lines is what the item means to the speaker. The next section is the ironic celebratory reaction, and the last few lines are reflection. There's some poetic devices that you could see are sibilance, anaphora, and enjambment. Moving on to Sonnet 104, the themes and message could be mortality, beauty is temporary, it's not everlasting, love, beauty versus time, aging and decay. So the tone would be loving, sincere, reflective, earnest, and assertive, only in the rhyming couplet. It's an English or Shakespearean sonnet, 14 lines, iambic pentameter, 3 quatrains which set out the case of the argument, and the rhyming couplet which provides the twist or conclusion, and we have our rhyme scheme of A, B, A, B, C, D, C, D, E, F, E, F, G, G. Some techniques you can see are enjambment, alliteration, simile. The poem Remember. The theme or message would be remembrance, death, legacy, mourning and dealing with grief or loss, the pain of remembrance, love and sacrifice. The tone shifts in the octave, it's commanding and assertive. In the sestet, it's more reflective, forgiving, and melancholic. The structure of the poem is a Petrarchan or Italian sonnet, 14 lines, octave and sestet. The volta shows the shift, and that is seen in the word yet. The rhyme scheme A, B, B, A, A, B, B, A, C, D, C, D, C, D. Some poetic techniques you can find would be a euphemism, alliteration, and repetition. For Wimpit, the theme or message, human connection, the impact on each other's lives, positive influence, support systems, people to inspire, motivate, and help you heal, mental health. The tone is reflective, nostalgic, thankful, contemplative, admiring. With regards to the structure, we see enjambment, free verse poem, parentheses, and direct speech. Some techniques you can find would be metaphor and symbolism. Moving on to the poem Touch, the theme and message could be human connection, the types of touch, positive and negative, imprisonment and dehumanization, and perhaps also human longing. The tone is desperate, sincere, pleading, heartfelt, honest, longing, and perhaps vulnerable. The structure, we use enjambment, free verse, fragmented short lines. Always think about the structure as what its effect could be and how it links to the message or the theme of the poem. So definitely try and make that connection. And some techniques could be alliteration, repetition, and transferred epithet. Ozymandias. Theme and message, man versus nature, man versus time, the power of nature, the ignorance of man, the pitfalls of arrogance, legacy, and mortality. In this poem, there's a lot of shifts in terms of tone. We start off quite reflective and matter of fact. Then when Ozymandias is proclaiming himself to be powerful on the pedestal of the statue, he comes across as confident and arrogant. And then lastly, the comment that's been made is said in a sarcastic and reflective tone. The structure is a Petrarchan or Italian sonnet, 14 lines, an octave of 8 lines, sestet of 6 lines. There's enjambment in the poem. The rhyme scheme is A, B, A, B, A, C, D, C, E, D, E, F, E, F. So this is not typical of a Petrarchan or Italian sonnet, so it does deviate slightly from that structure. There's direct speech, there's an example of ellipsis, and there is caesura. Some techniques: alliteration, oxymoron, sibilance, and juxtaposition. Next we have Namakwa Land After Rain. So our theme or message over here is being in awe of nature, the beauty of nature, rebirth and revival, the cycle of nature and the cycle of life. The tone is of admiration, it's a contemplative tone, and it's joyous. The structure, 8 stanzas of 4 lines each, lyrical rhyme. And the poetic devices, we could see imagery, alliteration, and personification. The poem Cockroaches, we can see the literal and the figurative interpretations of the theme and message. So literal, cockroaches and their treatment, and figurative is as an extended metaphor about any form of oppression and mistreatment of people. The tone is contemplative towards the end of the poem in the final 2 stanzas. At the beginning, the first 2 stanzas is quite cruel. The structure could be free verse, use of enjambment, short lines. And in the poetic devices column, we've got extended metaphor and synecdoche. Moving through the silent crowd, some of our themes or message could be unemployment, lost potential, action versus inaction, class differences. The tone is hopeless, critical, condescending at times, and disillusioned. The structure, we have 4 stanzas of 4 lines each, and we can see that links to the sense of monotony and sense of hopelessness. And the poetic devices, we can see are transferred epithets, sibilance, and metaphor. Mirror. The theme and message we see here is aging, mortality, beauty, and its link to identity. The tone is certain, confident, reflective, and matter of fact. The structure is made up of 2 stanzas. We have enjambment and caesura. And our poetic devices, we can see metaphor, paradox, personification, and simile. Strangers Forever. The theme or message of Strangers Forever is the solitary journey of life, the extent to which we truly know ourselves and others. The tone is sincere, certain, thoughtful, reflective, matter of fact. We have, in terms of structure, 1 stanza, enjambment, uneven lines, and question marks. In terms of poetic devices, we have an extended metaphor, we have other metaphors and symbolism, and repetition. The Sun Rising. For the Sun Rising, the theme and message is the strength and power of love, life as a microcosm of the universe. The tone is confrontational, condescending, brazen, assertive, and demanding. This is how the speaker is addressing the sun in this very confrontational manner. The structure, we have 3 stanzas of 10 lines each, with an A, B, B, A, C, D, C, E, E in each stanza. That's the rhyme scheme in each stanza. It's a dramatic monologue, and we have varied line lengths with a question mark. The poetic devices we see are metaphors, alliteration, and apostrophe. Next, we have Nobody Loses All the Time. The theme and message over here is life and death, failure, meaning or purpose of life. The tone is cynical, sarcastic, reflective, and flippant. The structure could be seen to have limited capital letters, limited punctuation, free verse, enjambment, varied line lengths, and some of the techniques could be irony, repetition, and hyperbole. Next, we have Will It Be So Again? So our theme and message is politicians are corrupt and power hungry, the tragedy of war, the promise and longing for peace, holding politicians accountable, and the duality of politicians. The tone is melancholic, angry, cynical, adamant, resigned, and bitter. So depending on where you are in the poem, you would use a different one of these words to describe that particular tone of that stanza or line. The structure is enjambment, caesura, long sentences, making it a slow pace, rhetorical questions, fixed rhyme scheme. Apologies for the typo there, it's a fixed rhyme scheme. A, B, C, B, A in each stanza. Some poetic techniques: repetition, euphemism, simile, metaphor, symbolism, and metonymy. And lastly, the tenant. The theme and message is heartbreak, relationships, the struggle of moving on. The tone is vulnerable, reflective, and sincere. The structure is 5 stanzas, free verse, caesura, and enjambment are used, and the poetic techniques could be extended metaphor. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you found that video helpful. Please remember to like this video and to subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.